was deeply saddened and outraged by the explosion at the hospital in Gaza yesterday. And based on what I've seen, it appears as though it was done by the other team, not you.
What?
There's a lot of people out there who are not sure. So we got to overcome a lot of things. And it also means encouraging life-saving capacity to help the Palestinians who are innocent, caught in the middle of this.
Joe Biden is lying right now. He just got there on TV and told us a bold-faced lie. You want to know how I know he lying?
Said that the Israeli Prime Minister today said, and I quote, the intelligence from multiple sources said that it's the Islamic Jihad is responsible for the failed rocket launch. Your response?
He is a liar. His spokesperson and digital spokesperson tweeted that Israel did the hit, thinking that there is around this hospital a base for Hamas, and then he deleted that tweet. We have a copy of that tweet, and Talal can share with you that tweet. Now they change the story to try to blame the Palestinians. It is a lie, and the Israeli spokesperson of the army, about a week ago, made a statement in which he said, evacuate the hospitals. The hospitals are target, and in fact, they hit one hospital a week ago. So their intentions is evacuate or hospitals will be hit, and they are responsible for that crime, and they cannot fabricate stories to deal with it.
Here's the deleted tweet right here from an official spokesperson of the Israeli state, talking about how the Israeli Air Force struck a Hamas base that they thought, you feel me, were inside of a hospital in Gaza, and that they confirmed a whole bunch of people in Hamas that got unalive. But then when they figured out that we all seen it, was like, hey man, that's a Christian hospital that y'all talking about over there. Y'all lying now. They deleted it and said it was the Hamas that did it. Why would Hamas hit their own people? You see what I'm saying? When I used to be a policy debater, the argumentation about miscalculations was something that was always had, and it was always funny to me that it was always the brown Arab Muslim that was seen as the uncomprehendable, irrational decision maker that can't even, you know what I'm saying, aim a missile. The capabilities of what hit that hospital is nothing what Hamas has resources to. But the individual was backed by two of the biggest global military powers in human history, does have those capabilities. Hey, America government. Hey, British government. Hey, man, education is elevation, but we got more for it.
This is the most disturbing thing you will see today. The official page in Arabic for the Israeli Defense Forces has just posted a post that says and translates to English, due to lack of medical tools and medical stuff, we decided to airstrike the hospital in Gaza and give them euthanasia.
Euthanize them?
Wow. This must go viral.
So they told them for weeks, hey, evacuate the hospitals, you see what I'm saying? Because it's about to go down. And then they hit the hospital, figure out that the world is seeing what they really doing now, man. Y'all hitting innocent civilians, talking about y'all looking for Hamas. Then you say, hey, man, it was Hamas. This is what y'all doing. And then President Biden take his ass over there to Israel today, you feel me, to really legitimize all of the ethnic cleansing that's happening to Palestinians right now, to make sure the American government and the American citizen keep on sending them pay dollars. Think about it like this. Joe Biden giving $100 billion to Ukraine and to, you know what I'm saying, Israel is kind of baffling. It shows you, it illustrates American, you know what I'm saying, American exceptionalism. It shows that we can give money for Ukraine to fight against Russia when Russia doing the exact thing, you feel me, to Ukraine that we supposed to be giving money to Israel to do to Palestinians. You see what I'm saying? Actually, a bit worse, because last time I checked, man, the Russians ain't been doing no 7-8-year genocide on Ukrainians. You see what I'm saying? Let's put this in math, man. In the last 10 days, the Israeli Defense Forces has killed more Palestinian children than the Russians did Ukrainian kids for an entire year. Don't believe me? Check it.
If it were not in Israel, we'd have to invent one.
It is the best $3 billion investment we make. Were there not an Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel to protect her interest in the region. The United States would have to go out and invent an Israel.
All innocent civilians matter. But for somehow the innocent civilians on the Palestinian side is always seen as collateral damage and served for the terrorist. Y'all don't find that suspicious? Listen, man. It's a lot of people talking about the biblical times and religious texts. You feel me? Last time I checked, the religious text does not substitute for land deeds. You feel me? And last time I checked, Father Abraham had many sons. Had many sons had Father Abraham. Jacob, Isaac, Ishmael. Wasn't Ishmael born first? You see what I'm saying? What I also recognize is don't act like you care about religious texts. You know what I mean? The Hawaiians, the indigenous people of New Zealand and Australia and the Americas, they also had religious texts. That religious text said that they had ceremonies and had specific nuances and relevance, you feel me, to the natural, you feel me, places that was around their location. As a matter of fact, Mount Everest is carved into a sacred mountain of the Blackfoot tribe. You see what I'm saying? But you don't go there though. You know what I mean? Hey man, Manifest Destiny was a mother, wasn't it? Apparently, Manifest Destiny, people still believe in it to this day. Education is elevation. Joe Biden, you was lying, fam. You was lying, man. And whew, sheesh, man. When we look back on time now, about 30 years from now, man, you better hope that you able to do a whole bunch of educating and propagating and indoctrinating these children into thinking that, hey, man, you was on the right side of history. Because, sheesh, man, on this one right here,
could potentially have been a Hamas misfire, if you like, of a rocket.
Wait, what? Israel just committed the most heinous crime right in front of our eyes. Something we've never witnessed before is the single bloodiest attack of the entire history of Israel's occupation since the Nakba 75 years ago. 500 civilians have been massacred by an Israeli airstrike at Al-Aqli hospital in Gaza. People seeking treatment and shelter from Israel's non-stop bombs across Gaza. And imagine this was Russia that attacked a hospital in Ukraine. Can you imagine Clarissa War parroting a Russian government statement that, oh, it may have been Ukraine misfiring? No, because she will be on air directly calling it a war crime, demanding that the West intervenes to stop Russia. But instead, here she is defending the perpetrators of a war crime like we've never seen before. Journalist? No. She's nothing more than a propagandist for a regime that is perpetrating genocide at this point.
number one, some of you may be asking yourself, what the hell is the Nakba? The Nakba is known as the catastrophe, you know what I'm saying, or the disaster. Happened in 1948, well before Hamas was established, even thought of. So you can't blame this on them at all and say this happened in defense of Israel, whatever. You can't say that at all on this one right here. Almost 1 million Palestinians got displaced from their homes. You see what I'm saying? And there was about 15,000 of them that was like, I'm staying here. It's my ancestral homes. My daddy built this house. You see me? My granddaddy built this house. Oh, yeah, they got unalived. You see what I'm saying? Number two, like I said in that video, when we think about the terms, the word that start with the T, and the civilian word, we recognize that this word is disproportionately used one way more than the other. Though both of them are doing, you know what I'm saying, airstrikes and hitting the civilians. Hey, that T word is only prescribed for individuals that have proximity as being Arab, of being Muslim, you know, of being around Hamas or being around Palestinians. They take me to number three. They say collective punishment is against international law. You know what I mean? It's a war crime. But we see here time after time after time again that Palestinian civilians are being justified by being hit because they are harboring Hamas. What? Number four. So if Canada thought that America was harboring the T word, would it justify them unrelinquishing a whole bunch of bombs and missiles on us and hitting schoolhouses and churches and buses and ambulances? Would it? No, right? Number five. This reminds me so much of September 9/11. You see what I'm saying? We seen one country got hit. They got a whole bunch of capabilities. And you feel me? Everybody was able to recognize the loss of civilians that happened on that soil was very bad. And as a result, in retaliation, there was some people that got real bloodthirsty and really started hitting everybody because you touch one hair on the American head, everybody got to feel it. Y'all remember that? Number six, they're going to say, You know, history starts well before 1948, as if that justifies the displacement and start of the ethnic cleansing that happened in 1948. But let's think about this historically, right? Since when did Britain and America and the French give a damn about who was in a piece of land thousands of years ago? Hey, the New Zealanders, the Hawaiians, the indigenous Americans called and they like, huh? Number 7, since we're talking about biblical history and people acting like it's so complex we can't understand it, think about it. Father Abraham had many sons. What? Isaac, Abraham, Ishmael. That's their names, wasn't it? So when you think about it, you feel me? There were a lot of people that were indigenous to that area. You explain to me why a particular group deserves, you know what I'm saying, to make it their holy land and only be able to dictate who has ownership and who's able to be involved with government. How they able to have jurisdiction? Is it sanctioned by God? Is it sanctioned by Yahweh? Is it sanctioned by Allah for them to be able to put Palestinians into apartheid states? Really, it's damn near like apartheid state meets concentration camps meets Trail of Tears. That's what they in right now. Hey man, this is my last point before I let my buddy get on here. Peep game. There's a multiplicity within the Palestinian identity and also within the Israeli identity. There are Jewish Palestinians, and there are a lot of people within the Jewish diaspora that not only is treated good in the state of Israel. Shout out to the Ethiopian Jews, and shout out to the Yemenite Jews, and shout out to it's a whole bunch of them. You gotta be able to have a cultural competency. But we can acknowledge that you're able to condemn the terrorist acts of, Hamas while also being able to stand in line with the Palestinian liberation.
One of the many reasons I have unequivocally condemned Hamas.
And you know what? Before I let the rest of this video play, tomorrow I'll be doing a live stream on my YouTube channel where we'll be discussing the history of Hamas, the holy wars, and the U.S. interests when it comes to international relations and what Biden referred to as the Arabian Peninsula. And I think it was 1985. I'll let the video play.
Yet somehow I am also in favor of Palestinian liberation. How could that be? Two things can be true at the same time. Just imagine that. Imagine not being a fucking cheerleader for religious factions, warmongers, and politicians. By that, I mean, I am Jewish, but I will not let that cloud my judgment and recognize the fact that the Israeli government has mistreated and subjugated Palestinian people for decades. Right? Like, listen, I am an American. I can also recognize the fact that America has committed atrocities across the world. I am not going to be a blind cheerleader for America any more than I am not going to be a blind cheerleader for Israel, just because I happen to be Jewish or just because I happen to be American. And blaming all Palestinians for the actions of Hamas is just ignorant. Yes, they elected Hamas. That was in 2006, 17 years ago. The median age of Palestinians in Gaza Strip is about 18 years old. So here's my son. He's 3 months old. That's like holding him accountable for all of the actions of the U.S. government. It doesn't make any sense. Use your critical thinking skills. Absolve yourself of all of the labels that you have and all of the shit that you're supposed to think, and just think like a human.
Here go 3 other times that Joe Biden has lied since last week concerning the Israeli occupation of Gaza. And this not counting that lie he made this morning about who actually struck that hospital. Go see my last video for that one. We got the first lie right here. Biden claimed to have seen pictures following Saturday's Hamas-led attack on Israel, which is described as the deadliest day in Jews since the Holocaust. Unverified claims about the beheading of Israeli children went viral on social media after Nicole Zedek, a reporter with the Israeli news channel I-24, claimed that she had spoken to Israeli soldiers who had witnessed decapitated babies. And in response to questions about the Washington Post, a White House spokesperson walked back Biden's claims and said that President had not seen pictures of beheaded children. Lie number 2. At 6:30 a.m. on Saturday, Palestinian fighters broke through the heavily militarized barrier force separating Gaza and Israel and entered several villages, towns, and rave, or musical festival. A bloodbath ensued, resulting in the deaths of 260 Israeli. Several women is known to be of those killed in an attack taken back to Gaza as prisoners of war. But as of Thursday, claims of the grape have yet to be substantiated by Israeli authorities or independent human source groups. Lie number 3. In his remarks on Tuesday, Biden attempted to defend Israel's bombing campaign of Gaza, claiming that Israel doesn't target civilians and journalists. This claim has already been contested by the United Nations in this latest bout of violence after residential buildings and the UN-run schools being used as shelters for displaced people have been bombed. On Monday, the UN's Independent Commission of Inquiry said that there was already clear evidence that war crimes may have been committed by both sides. We're definitely living in times that we've written about in world history. You see what I'm saying? The question becomes, what side of history will you be on? Will you be on the side, you feel me, there was resistance to genocide? Or will you be on the side that said, hey, man, people got the right to defend themselves, and if genocide happened, then hey, man, so be it.